Welcome to 870 Youghall Drive in beautiful Bathurst, New Brunswick. This one-owner home, built in 1975, sits on over 200 feet of waterfront in a very, very desirable location, which is minutes in this direction from fantastic golfing and the downtown, and then minutes in the other direction from some of the nicest beaches that you're going to see north of the Carolinas. Beautiful golden sand. They call it the Baie des Chaleurs, which means Bay of Heat. Supposedly we have the warmest waters north of the Carolinas. I'm not sure I 100% believe that, but it's pretty nice. So the house, as I said, built in 75, one owner. Outside, the roof was done in 2020. The Connect Cell siding is on there, so it's pretty much maintenance free with the brick that you have. Foundation's in great shape. I'd say about 80% of the windows have been updated to the newer PVC windows. All the windows are PVC, but there's some newer ones that were added in recent years. You have a long, large paved driveway coming in. And then as you head to the back of the property, which honestly is really the money shot. So this piece of property is built, like I said, just under 2 acres, 7,700 and some odd square meters, which is just under 2 acres. But what's nice about it is at the front, the street frontage is only about 101 feet wide, but the back side along the water is over 200 feet. So it goes to where the fence line is over there behind that shed and behind the garage / workshop there. As you can see from the back side of the house, you have a nice sized deck. That deck was all redone in 2020 as well. And I mean, we're November, so the property goes, follows the tree line on the right hand side here as well. And that planting bed is actually on this property as well, and follows down right to the water. So yeah, we're November, so you have to imagine what it would look like in the summertime with beautiful leaves on all of the trees, as well as the grass being nice and green. As we get down to the waterfront, I want to point out that there's a picket off to the left over here, and that pretty much is as far as you would be allowed to put fill or to build, because there is some wetland, and that's why they haven't done anything with this piece of land over here, this part of the property. They let it grow naturally so that there's no erosion, and they don't interfere with it. And then there's 2 rows of rose bushes here. And then as you come down to the shoreline, this is, as I said, called the Baie of Chaleurs. You're on the bay, and to your right over here would be the downtown, and really beautiful shoreline. And because you're in a bay, the water is quite shallow here, even at high tide. It is a fantastic spot to launch if you are into kayaking or paddleboarding, or if you canoeing, swimming, anything that you would have a low or shallow bottom boat, you would be really all set over here. So as we get to the shoreline, we're at high tide today. So normally it would be back considerably further than that, but you have your own private beachfront. So off to the left in this direction, as I mentioned before, is your beach. Off in the distance you can see the big blue building. That's the marina that's over there. So you get into some much deeper water as you get out of the bay and into the channel. And then lots of executive homes built all along this. The golf course, which you can see over to the left, or to my right over here at the very point. And then, as I said, lots of executive type homes along here. This property is the only property currently available all along this shoreline, all the way down to and including along the beach road. So, as you can see, if you were worried about erosion or storm surges or anything like that, the one other big advantage to this property is the distance that you are from the water. I mean, on the bay side, you don't see nearly as bad the surges that you would directly on the open water. But you still do see water coming up in the spring and in the fall during big storms. But, you know, it's certainly not going to come up as far as the house, since this one is a good distance from the water. So as I mentioned, there's a little shed here, which is great for mechanical equipment, or even if you have kayaks or boats, small boats that you want to store. Now, normally in the summertime, there would be, you know, all your outdoor furniture, which would be back here. I'll go take a quick walk through to the garage, which the homeowner used more as a workshop than as a garage as per se, but you can drive across the grass to pull in vehicles into the garage. So it is insulated and on footings and a concrete floor, and has its own sub panel here at the back. Has slider windows, but they're the older type sliders, but great space for storing the winter stuff in the summer and the summer stuff in the winter, but also as a great little spot to do work. There's a couple of baseboards, or there's a baseboard heater, so you can heat it. Excellent location for storage. And again, really, this is the money shot. Every day, every half hour or so, you'll have a different view out here based on, you know, whether it's high tide, low tide, if there's boats out there, if there's whatever birds are out. Always something different. And that's the most incredible thing about living on the water. So that concludes the outside tour, and now we're going to step inside and see what the inside looks like.